Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about guitar pickups. Let's go! Alright, in my last video, we went into detail in regards to the guitar selection process, what you might be interested in, what you might be looking at, different steps you can take to better understand what guitar is right for you. Now, once you get the guitar that you feel is right for you, now is when we can dive a little bit deeper to understand the guitar pickups and what they can do for you, what they sound like in the different positions, when and where to use them. And I just wanted to talk about it really briefly because I think this is definitely something that new musicians and new worship guitar players are struggling with. And again, it's not something to be embarrassed about. It's just there aren't too many resources or there aren't too many people talking about when to use what pickup throughout a song. Now, as you can see, I have a variety of different guitars, but they all sound very different. A Strat will always sound like a Strat, and a Telecaster will always sound like a Telecaster. The fun part about learning guitar and how to play guitar for worship is messing around and experimenting with a different pickup selection throughout the song. Now, of course, part of what we talk about here today is going to vary because I don't know what kind of guitar you're playing, and I don't know what kind of guitar you've recently purchased or are thinking of purchasing. But I do believe that the principle still remains. No matter what guitar you have to understand how it sounds like in the different pickup positions, because as you're playing a song, it doesn't make sense to stay in the neck pickup throughout the entire song because your lead lines are not going to cut through as they should as per the recording, and vice versa. If you stay in your bridge pickup throughout the whole song, it may not be as effective when it comes to those warmer, ambient, quieter, worshipful type of moments. Now, it doesn't really matter what guitar you're playing. What I want to touch on is just the concept of having a guitar that has two humbucker pickups. Now, as you can see, for the most part, if you're familiar with humbuckers, it has two single coil pickups that are joined and put under one casing. So there's only three options that you can either have. You can have your neck, you can have both, or you can have just your bridge. Now, you might still think, well, this is really restricting. Why would I need to know that? Well, because this concept does also apply to Telecaster guitars that only have two pickups as well. Same goes for other offset guitars that might have P90s in them or Jazzmaster pickups. The idea is that you understand how and when to change your pickups. So for example, if you're in a ambient style, so The Goodness of God, let's say we're talking about that song. If you are playing swells, you do not want to be doing swells, I wouldn't recommend doing swells, in your bridge. The reason for that is the bridge pickup is usually a little bit hotter, probably, again, depending on the pickups that you're using, whether they're pickups that came with a guitar or let's say they're custom, your bridge might be hotter, so it might be around 7.8K, it might be 10K. Again, every manufacturer is different when it comes to how hot they wire the pickups. But for the most part, the principle and the concept still remains that you don't want to necessarily do swells in a bridge pickup because that sound will be very thin. It will cut through a little bit too much, and you might find that your warm tone is not actually warm at all. So what I would suggest is one of two things: to either make sure that your two pickups are selected, or you go with just your neck. Again, it depends on the guitar that you're playing, but you would definitely have to set up your sounds based on that idea that if I'm playing a warm ambient swell, or I'm playing in behind a vocalist, or I'm just trying to create some kind of a drone pad with my guitar or with your guitar, you may just want to try and make it as warm as possible without it being a little bit overbearing and, most importantly, not distracting. The next guitar that I want to talk about is the Strat. Now, this is probably one of the most challenging guitars to understand and one of the most challenging instruments to play because instead of having only 2 or 3 pickup positions, you have 5. And the reason this is so challenging is because not too many people understand the difference between 5th position, 4th, 2nd, third. They're just, hey, I'm going in my neck, or I'm just going in my bridge. But if you experiment with the sound a little bit, with the pedals that you have, again, whether it's analog or digital, if you take some extra time and experiment with that, you'll be surprised that the difference between 5th and 4th position is actually quite substantial. As you move on to the different pickup selections, when you go from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, and 2 to 1, you will be shocked at the difference in sound, and will actually allow you to understand, hey, we're doing a pre-chorus, I'm going to be in my 3rd or my 4th pickup position, and guess what, now we're going to a chorus or a full bridge, so I'm going to slam it into the 5th position where it's just the bridge pickup, and you're just going to give her. Now, on one of the strats that I am trying to complete as a project, you'll see that I have 3 single coil pickups, as so. And again, my pickup selector, I have 5 different positions. So, bridge position, bridge and middle, middle by itself, middle and neck, and then just the neck. So again, bridge by itself, bridge and middle, just the middle, middle and neck, and then neck. If you have some extra time, I want to encourage you guys to go online and search blues music using a Strat. You'll be amazed at how many times a musician or artist is switching their pickups throughout the song. Now, blues music is pretty straightforward, it's pretty standard. There really isn't too many dynamics. It's definitely a lot of solos for sure. But if you pay a little bit closer attention, you'll be able to see that they switch their pickups quite frequently throughout the song. And the reason is because every position on a Strat will give you a different sound. So in the beginning of, let's say, a blues song, a musician or artist might be in their neck pickup, but as it starts to build and build and build and finally get to this big, crazy guitar solo, they're usually in their 4th or 5th. So that's either the middle and bridge or just the bridge, again, depending on the song and the artist. And yes, I am not saying that this is, 100% true all the time. I'm just saying it's something to notice. And when you realize this, you will start to pay attention, or you might pay attention to how other musicians and guitarists, how often they're switching their pickups throughout the song. If you watch any live show, you might be able to notice as they're switching their pickups, because throughout the song, it doesn't always call for a bridge pickup, or it doesn't always call for a neck pickup. So it's just something to think about, especially if you are interested in buying a Strat, or you have a Strat and you feel like you're stuck. This is one thing that I've encouraged some new members on our worship team in Toronto, Canada, to challenge themselves and step outside their comfort zone. I said, look, grab your guitar, and instead of just playing your chords or running through your riffs, just literally strum a chord in the first position and kind of work your way through the different pickup selections, work your way through that, and really pay attention to, okay, this is how different it sounds in every position. I did want to take a little bit of a sidestep though. The Strat that I usually use for composing and stuff like that does have a single, and a humbucker. But the concept and the principle still remains that bridge and middle and neck, and just the neck. This principle will still apply because the wiring is the exact same. The only difference is when I'm in my bridge pickup, I have a little bit of extra bite and a little bit of extra grunge in my tone for particular songs. But again, with the pickup that I have, it's highly responsive. So it means even if I'm in my bridge pickup and I'm playing softly, it won't come out distorted. It won't come out fuzzy. It won't come out, too loud or too cutting. It'll be exactly how I'm playing. When I dig in, physically start strumming a little bit harder, the pickup is a responsive one, which means when it notices and when it hears that I'm giving in a little bit more, that's when it'll start to bite a little bit more. Now, the last and final guitar / pickup selection that I did want to talk about briefly, which is pretty straightforward, is Telecaster style pickups. Now, in my offset, as you can see, I have a Tele neck and a Tele bridge pickup. And again, only 1, 2, 3. So there's only 3 different options. Very similar to the humbucker setup, it has three options. But again, the Tele will always sound like a Tele. So even though I have these Tele pickups in my offset style body, it sounds like a Tele. Because I'm a bigger guy, I like the way that the body feels, and it all contributes to the woods that are being used, which we talk about in the guitar selection video. Now, if you wanted to and you were handy or you were getting a custom guitar build, you could probably put a pickup right in the middle here if you absolutely wanted. Now, obviously that's a personal preference. For myself, that doesn't really suit the style that I play. It doesn't suit the style of music that I compose. It's not for me. But again, that doesn't mean that my opinion is the same as someone else's. There might be other people out there that are like, yeah, my Tele needs to have another pickup in the middle. And that's great. I've played guitars like that and they've sounded great. But for me personally, over the years, I've realized that either a Strat or a Tele sound is what I'm chasing and what really suits what I'm doing. I really hope that as I was going through my guitars with the different pickup configurations, that you were able to take something away from that. You were able to think a little bit differently and actually want to pick up your guitar and mess around with the different pickup selections and the configurations and all that kind of stuff. And again, if this is something you're familiar with, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a nice little reminder. But again, if you're new to worship music, if you're a new musician, I really think that this will really allow you to understand your instrument a lot better. And then again, when you are playing the music that you're playing, it will help you develop so much better. And again, contribute to what the song is saying, contribute to what the song is doing. And again, play your part the best way you absolutely can. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you're able to take something away from it. If you haven't already, I want to invite you to like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share my channel with your friends, and we'll see you guys next time.